This is Carrie from Cookbook Divas, and I wanted to look through Winter in Tuscany with you by Amber Guinness. It's one of my favorite cookbooks that came out in 2025. It's cozy recipes and the Quanto Basta way, which kind of means a little of this, enough of that. You can still measure things, but you don't have to be exacting and perfect, and that's exactly how my life is. So let's take a peek inside. I wanted to mention that the photography is by Valentina Sofrini. And there's lots of Tuscan photography in here. Table of contents is antipasti, before the meal, minestre, comforting soups, primi, pasta and grains, my favorite chapter, piatti di mezzo, vegetarian mains, another very useful chapter for me, secondi di carne, meaty mains, contorni, sides, delicious, and then the last chapter, of course, is the dessert and sweets chapter. This page is a brief history of Tuscan flavors. There's, of course, a section on the Tuscan pantry. There's a section on wines of Tuscany, yum. And this part explains Tuscan cooking and the Quanto Basta way. I thought it was so helpful that she included some menus in case you needed ideas for how to put the recipes and the book together to make a meal to share with friends, of course. The first chapter is antipasti. One of the recipes in this chapter is fennel and lemony anchovy sauce. This is baked porcini mushrooms with cheese, honey, and thyme. It looks incredible. As we're looking at Juliet's mustardy crostini, I wanted to mention that the measurements are both metric and imperial, grams and ounces, but a lot of the measurements are just a slice of bread, juice of a quarter of a lemon, a piece of this and that. Here's the soups chapter, minestre. Let's see what comes first. Chicken and beef bone broth, vegetable stock, don't need photos for those. Tiny pasta in broth. This is actually my niece and nephew's favorite comfort meal sometimes. This looks like an amazingly comforting soup. It's egg and Parmesan shreds in broth. I've never seen a recipe for Etruscan chestnut and chickpea soup. That looks fabulous, and I can grab some chestnuts at Trader Joe's if I'm going to try making this recipe. Here's the primi chapter, pastas and grains. This is rigatoni with fake meat sauce. I think that's kind of clever. This one is called drunkard spaghetti, which I thought was cute. It's made with a white onion, unsmoked ready diced pancetta, chopped, olive oil, sea salt and pepper, a bottle of Chianti, spaghetti, of course, and grated Parmesan. Kind of simple. Look at this beautiful bowl or orecchiette. It has Brussels sprouts and pancetta. You could leave off the pancetta if you're vegetarian, of course. I love that she called this one emergency rosemary and garlic spaghetti. You can throw that together fast, and most of us have garlic and rosemary around somewhere in the house. The perfect autumn meal, chestnut gnocchi with butter and sage. Or winter too, actually. She included some step-by-step photos to help us make one of the pastas by hand. Very helpful. Here's the vegetarian mains chapter. I see artichokes, yum, and artichoke frittata. Here's Dada's baked leeks in bechamel. I don't know if you can get your hands on quail eggs. I can. I live in a big city. This is sage, spinach, and quail egg pie. I know you've made lasagna before, but how about good time radicchio, gorgonzola, and walnut lasagna? Next, the meaty mains chapter. Here's a hearty sausage, lentil, and chickpea stew, lots of protein, which you'd need if it's winter and you've been out shoveling snow. There's a black pepper stew, Carolina's meatloaf. This definitely seems like a very Tuscan dish. It's chicken with artichokes. The contorni sides chapter is next. Florentine peas with ham. Artichokes with parsley and garlic. I love how many artichokes in this cookbook. Yum. How simple is this? Greens tossed in the pan. A pink radicchio and blood orange salad. I love that in winter. Get some color in there. In between the recipes, there's some photos from Sights all over Tuscany. And last, the dessert chapter. Here's a Florentine apple pancake cake. That sounds fun. Here's a Cantucci and Vinsanto semifreddo dessert. And the last thing I wanted to show you in this cookbook, because I love cherry cake so much, is a chocolate and amarena cherry cake. That's what I want for Christmas and my birthday and Easter. So I'm glad I could give you this preview of Winter in Tuscany. The publisher gifted me this book. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next cookbook video.